Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Right, I did the video yesterday about the extra two teams in the Premier League last season. Wasn't very keen, not keen. But I made the mistake perhaps of assuming people have watched the videos all the time on here, and because people are saying, oh, we've got to finish the season, as if it's something I was dead against. I was originally wanting the season to finish behind I've accepted it's going to be behind closed doors. But my opinion's changed since then, hence yesterday's video when I was a bit more season is to be voided. Not because I'm a West Ham fan, it's just because I felt like we're already in this lull, and going by what the government are saying, it doesn't really sound like it's getting better anytime soon. So we can't really predict the future. They can't predict the future. So how can we, unexperts, people without access to data and such like, predict the future? I feel like, not that the Premier League are trying to do that, but they're trying to plan something for the future in an uncertain time, and that's a very difficult thing to do. So the latest, and you might have seen it come out late last night and today, which is we're planning Premier League World Cup style camps, two camps, one in the Midlands, one possibly in London as well. So they'd scoop up all the players, all the coaches, the officials, the referees, everybody that needs to be involved in running a football game behind closed doors, and putting them into basically a quarantine camp, into hotels and such like, away from their families, so that they can't get the virus, or well, that's the plan anyways. No virus, then they can play football, cram a load of matches into a short space of time, get the season finished just like that. Yesterday when I heard about it, I was dead against it. I thought, crikey, this is a bad idea because, well, for various reasons. This morning I'm not so against it, but I don't know why, because when I think about what I was thinking about last night, I go back to it's a really bad idea. So there's 92 games left of the Premier League. The plan is to have them all on TV. Games behind closed doors, like I said, in the Midlands, maybe London. There's just far too many people involved for me. When you think about how many players each club will have, so 25-man squad, I imagine. Then you add in the coaches. The media team don't have to be there. There's some people at the club we can discard. You do not have to be at the game. The media team is probably the one that it's a bit unfortunate, but you can probably score them off. So you won't be required. You can still do what you want to do at home, essentially, watching the game. It's not ideal, but this is not an ideal situation whatsoever. But still, you're still looking at maybe 40 to 50 people per club. All of a sudden you're all the way up at 800 to 1,000 people. Then you've got to take into consideration the referees, the linesmen, the fourth officials, your physios and stuff. And then you've got your TV crews, and there's a lot of them considering how many games are going to be played. There's a lot of TV. You've then got a set of VAR up in all these stadiums because it won't be there already. You've got Hawkeye should already be there, but you might have to set that up. Then you've got the VAR team's going to have to work in Stockley Park. Then all of a sudden you're asking 4 or 5 referees to sit in a room together, which is compromising the whole social distancing thing already. I don't think you can not have VAR. I do think it's not been included in an article if VAR would be involved or not. I do actually think you have to finish the season with it, because it's a level playing field from matchday 1 to matchday 38. I think all rules have to be the same. I'm not necessarily against VARs in a personal opinion. I'm going off at a tangent here, but I think it's the rules and the way it's run is a bit different. I've watched Champions League matches where VAR's used and done within 20-30 seconds. Looks at an offside goal 3 times and then go, nah, offside, away you go. Premier League's a bit slower. Teething problems, first season and all that. But I do think you have to finish the season with the same rules and procedures as what you started with, in order for fairness. So I do think VAR would have to be used in this setup as well. And in the article it said about how just one person getting the virus could bring the whole thing down, which I think is right, really. You can't. It's a very difficult thing to police, isn't it? Because while you look at all the club stuff, there's other people involved here as well that you might not think of. You've got the groundsmen of these, the grounds. You've got the groundsmen. You've got the chefs, the people that are going to cook the food to feed all these people. They're going to be in hotels. So now all of a sudden you're bringing in the what are they called? Maids? Hotel maids? The room attendants. These people are now coming into consideration as well. So you've now got a lot of people. Do you quarantine all of those people as well? Because then all of a sudden, the number of people involved is just going up and up and up and up. And you're taking these guys away from their families for a month, perhaps. And they're going to need to be in quarantine for probably 2 weeks, I imagine. They'd all have to go in for 2 weeks before they even kick a ball, because that's the rule of thumb from when you can get rid of the virus. Even if you've got it after 2 weeks, it should be gone by now. You should be okay. Not always, but rule of thumb. The testing is obviously going to be a bit more advanced then. This is why they're saying mid-June is when they're looking at starting it, towards the end of June. Falls in line with what UEFA are demanding, but the testing would be more advanced by then, and you can get your results within hours rather than days. And I think that's a big part of it, really, so that you can, any issue that arises can be rectified immediately. If someone did test positive, they know within hours, and they can try and, I guess, remove, I don't want to say the contaminated person, but that's almost what they're going to try and do, isn't it? They're going to get the guy with the virus out and monitor the rest of them, test them all immediately, and then you get the results later that day. But this is just, I think sometimes we accuse a lot of footballers of being in an isolated world, detached from reality a little bit, and I just find it's a bit, we are now almost, I say we, not me or you, but the people are coming up with these plans. Now they're almost putting them detached from reality to say, oh well, we'll just take them from their homes and their families for a month, 6 weeks, and they can go away and play football. And I think, well, it's not as simple as that, because this is a tough and testing time for a lot of people up here, and footballers are included in that bracket. Of course they are, and I just feel like we're almost talking about them as if they're some sort of robots a little bit. And I don't like it. I think we're disregarding the impact it's going to have on them as people and their families as people, that we can just pop them down and say, there you go, play football for a month. And then there's other things to come into consideration. I know that they said that the TV deal is the 16th of July, seems to be the magic date for the TV deal, but I'm pretty certain that BT and Sky will turn the blind eye to the day if it rumbles on later than July. As long as they get their games, I think they'll be happy enough. All games be shown on TV as well. It's important. It's behind closed doors, I think, which makes sense. I think all games have to be shown on TV as well, just from not just an entertainment point of view, but almost like football is a competition now. The Premier League in particular is an entertainment industry as well as a sport, and you have to withhold the entertainment industry side of it as much as possible for people like me and you, so we can stay connected to the game. Now, the article last night spoke about like a psychological boost for the nation if the football was back on the TV, and I agree with 80% of me would say, yeah, I agree with that. I think it would give us all something a little bit to look forward to. I mean, I've got a bit of a confession. I didn't get out of my bed till 10 o'clock this morning. I cannot tell you the last time that happened. I'm talking years now. I'm talking 10, 20 years or something like that. Since I stayed in bed till 10, but this morning there's nothing to get up. But I woke up at my normal time. I didn't really roll out of the bed. So it would give me something to look forward to, give us a lot of something. But that 20% thinks, but what happens if Liverpool win the title? Which they will, right? They've got 2 games to go till they win the title. Let's just say they win their game. Are all Liverpool fans not going to congregate outside Anfield? Or are they not going to want to celebrate? And I'm not saying they're wrong to want to do that. I think it's a perfectly natural thing to do. Liverpool won the title. Liverpool fans will want to celebrate with Liverpool fans. They won't want to be stuck indoors. So you're then sort of risking it that they're all going to behave. I mean, we're struggling as a nation at the minute to get people to behave as it is. I'd say a lot of people are behaving in general. The large majority are, but we're still seeing instances of barbecues or people driving somewhere for a better walk than would be if they walked out the front door for 20 minutes or something. So we're already sort of not quite there yet. It's just at the same time, if West Ham got relegated, if we went down, would our fans not want to protest? Would our fans think, okay, we'll wait until we're allowed out and then we'll protest again? I don't know. I'm not saying we will. I'm not saying we won't. I don't know. You've got to consider these things as well. Football is also sociable. It's a very sociable thing. When the World Cup comes round, what does everyone do? They go around with their friends. They have a barbecue. They get the beers out. They sit and watch the football together, and it becomes an event, doesn't it? You can spend the whole day together for one game of football. And when you call this the Premier League World Cup style thing, I realise they're referring to the camps and the tournament style of it, but the social aspect of it will be brought into that from people. It will be difficult for people not to be tempted to sneak round to their friends or whatever to watch this game. I mean, obviously in June things could be relaxed then. We're talking 3 months away here. It's a long time, so we could be back to not normal but less restrictions in place, where it's not quite mini lockdown. You can go to work, you can go do this, you can do that, just that social distancing is still buying part of our lives. I think it will be anyway. The other thing I've got a question is teams' motivations. Now, I don't want to question integrity of footballers or teams or sportsmanship. I wouldn't do that in normal circumstances, but this isn't normal circumstances. So it's almost got like a prison kind of a feel to it. I know when they talk about the World Cup thing, but you see when nations go to World Cup camps, they're still allowed out. They're still allowed to go and do activities as a team together. It's not quite you must stay indoors and you come out and play the game, then you go back indoors, which is what this is sort of alluding to a little bit. You know, you've got a million questions off the back of this. How's training going to work? How's players' injuries going to work? Are you going to have the masseuse? If so, what's going to happen there? Is the masseuse going to go to the player's room, to the next player's room, to the next player's room, and all of a sudden that one masseuse is going around so many different people and stuff? There's just a lot of complications. But going back to the team motivation thing, I just wanted to make sure this is a small picture thing. I'm not quite. If this was played under normal circumstances, what we were going through wasn't different, I wouldn't question Liverpool's motivation once they won the title and they continued on, because I'd say, well, that's part of the Premier League now. That's part of the luck, isn't it? I spoke yesterday of the law of average a little bit, and that is part of the law of average for me. Once a team's on the beach and whatnot, tough. That's just the way the fixtures have gone. But with this, it feels a bit different to me, because Liverpool win the title. Are those players going to want to remain confined to a bedroom every day for the next 3 weeks or something? Are they going to want to play out their other 5 games? In a normal circumstance, I would say, yeah, they do. They want to gain as much points as they can. They want to finish on 90 something points rather than 80 something points. They want to get close to the 100 point mark as possible. But will they want to do it in a camp? Will they want to do it when they're not with their families? They can't celebrate with their fans. Will they still want to play football properly? I'm not 100% sure. And it's not just Liverpool. I'm just using them as an example because the easiest one to give. You then go down to the mid-table teams. You look at Crystal Palace, for example, who aren't probably not going to get relegated. All they need is maybe 2-3 points out of their first handful of games, and then they're safe. They're not going to get European football. They're not going to get relegated. So you start to question: are they going to want to be there? Are they going to be motivated for their next game? So on and so forth. And I'm not too sure. But the one thing we have to accept is, I've got one more note. I wrote notes for this. Organised. The other thing is the fitness of the players come into it a little bit. Ogbonna, and it's a West Ham thing here. I know it's a Premier League video, but it's West Ham channel, so I don't pay attention to what other players are saying of other clubs. But certainly Ogbonna has spoke about how they're all doing their own thing at home, exercise-wise. But when they all get back together, they're going to need like a mini pre-season. They're going to need something because it's slack. So how is that going to come into play with this camp? How are they going to go there with long enough that the players can train and so long? I know that you were talking about St George's Park, and I don't think that's the worst idea in all honesty. If they were going to do this, I don't think St George's Park is the worst idea, because I think they've got 14 pitches there. They've got big hotels there already, which is used for the England team when they're there. So they've almost got half the infrastructure in place already there. But what was it? Oh, I've lost my rhythm here now, haven't I? I've thrown myself. I shouldn't have said that about the fitness of the players. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up now. I've fluffed it. I haven't wrote down the last thing. But the advantage of the fans, someone in the live chats now, David Ryder, saying, where's the home advantage for teams and players? And I think that's completely true, but I think that's gone now. I think that we've just got to accept if the season does get played out, it's going to be behind closed doors. There's going to be no fans. And what I was going to say, though, I've remembered it now. Money. Yes, they're saying about how money is the motivation for all these, for getting the season finished rather than avoiding it. I think we've just got to accept that, because money is a big part of the Premier League. Do I want to see them putting players' health below money? No, I don't. There's people at the club that make these decisions are looking at the balance sheet right now thinking we need to not hemorrhage as much money as we possibly are. They're looking at what's going to happen if the season's voided. They're going to be looking at what could happen financially if the season's played behind closed doors. And they're probably deciding that actually we need to get this finished. Jazza's asking how they're doing it abroad. In all honesty, I don't know. I don't think UEFA know either. I've seen the interview from one of the directors at UEFA, and he was saying that the seasons must be starting. They've got three plans or three scenarios. A, it starts end of May. Scenario B, it starts mid-June. And scenario C is it starts by the end of June. And if they get to scenario C and it's still not started, that they're probably just going to have to forget the season, basically. Juventus have already decided, or should I say Juventus fans, for example, have decided that if the season's voided, they don't want the title. They don't want it. They don't think it's fair. They don't want that title that they've not mathematically won, despite them being top the Serie A. It's just a whole load of bit of a mess, isn't it? It's no easy answer. The problem with the Premier League, I'd imagine, is they're trying to go along with their advice as much as possible, but at the same time they've got to look after their business. And it's just like every other business, but the difference is they're under a microscope. Theirs is the entertainment value, and it's slightly harder perhaps. But we are going to keep up. Forever Blowing Bubbles is asking if they're playing football in Belarus. They are, but I think that's because their Prime Minister's a bit, to quote him, maybe not quote him, he's basically said vodka and saunas will get rid of the virus. I don't know what his science is behind that, but that's what he said. I mean, the guy's been playing ice hockey as normal. He's been cracking on as normal, the Prime Minister of Belarus. So I wouldn't necessarily follow their rule of thumb. But there's slight positive news as Spain's numbers are dropping and stuff. So I think the Premier League is very much going to be a wait and see as to what's occurring. But they've got the meeting on Friday, and I think they're going to be trying to put one or two plans in place. This is just the latest plan that they've got. It sounds like they're trying to get the league played to a finish, not at whatever cost. That's wrong. I don't think they will do it at whatever cost, but I think they're trying to consider every possible scenario in which they can get this season wrapped up, and this is just one of them. This is the one that's come out last night. Like I said, last night I was dead against it, but today I don't know. I can see why they're considering this one. They're trying to make it as safe as possible for the players, which is taking them away, getting them in quarantine, put them in bubble wrap essentially, get them well looked after, and get them playing football. But at the same time, on the other hand, I'm thinking they're still human beings, and it's not a nice time for anyone. But anyway, thank you for joining this. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We've got videos coming up, maybe every day. We're doing our best to get videos out every day. Myself and Gonzo will be recording another tier list video very soon, which is all the youngsters of West Ham. What do we want them to do next season, hypothetically? Keep them, sell them, loan them out. Join us in a bit. Catch you soon.